Hello everyone, welcome back to Eat Sleep Breathe. This week I'm going to be covering something that's not a very topic I've been looking forward to covering, but it's something I think you guys can probably learn from it. You guys can grow, learn from my mistakes. Honestly, I don't even know if I should call it a mistake, but I've overheard a lot of people ever since I've been in the hobby kind of talk about the reef tanks and sometimes mention that there's certain corals they just cannot keep for whatever reason. SPS, there's some people that can't keep SPS if their life depended on it. I've heard people that can keep SPS but can't keep zoas. I've heard people that can keep zoas but can't keep anything else, and it's very interesting. I've never really understood it. Being a new reefer, when I would hear stuff like this, I would blame it on inconsistency, inconsistent water parameters, so on and so forth. And obviously, since I wasn't experiencing it, I just kind of went on with my day. But it's really funny, ever since day one that I've had this reef tank, I've noted, not really day one, but probably 4 or 5 months into it, I've noticed I've always had issues with frog spawns and hammers. Always. Especially you guys that followed my tank, for any given time. And if you go back and look at my videos, you'll notice there has never been a frog spawn or hammer that has lasted, at least a certain colony that has lasted more than 6 months. I've never been able to keep them. Luckily, I've already come to the point where I've understood it. I'm not going to fight it. And as you can see, there's no more frog spawns and no more hammers in this reef tank. Although I absolutely love them and I wish I could have them, sadly, I can't maintain them. So why even do that to them? Again, they are living creatures. I've seen time and time. I bought it from different places. I've just had no luck. The last few colonies I had of hammers and frog spawns, they were starting to diminish, not dying yet. So what I went ahead and did was just give them to my neighbor. Even I really didn't care about the dollar amount. I spent easily over $400 or $500 on the ones I gave him. But to me, it's not about the dollar amount. To me, it's about allowing that colony to live, to thrive. I didn't even expect him to give me any money. I just said, here, they're free, just take care of them. I'd rather see them go to a good home. And I think that's something we got to realize as reefers. A lot of times we do whatever, kind of to say, damn it, we're going to make this coral be in my tank, whether it lives or dies, I don't care. I'm not that kind of person. If I see a coral is going downhill, and if I can't make a profit on it, I'd rather see the coral live than die. So that's why I did that. And I think a lot of us reefers, I think a lot of us do have that mindset. But if you don't, learn to adopt it. Because again, these are living creatures. And it just really sucks seeing them suffer, seeing them start dying off. So whenever you can, whenever you have a local reefer, a local shop that'll take them, who cares if they're going to give you money for them? Just do what's best for the coral. Well, with that out of the way, kind of jumping back on track here. But yeah, like I said, I've always just never been able to keep them. And, I remember when they would start going downhill, I would do water changes. I would test my water. Everything as far as I can tell looked great. ICP tests would look great. So really just don't know what it is. I honestly can tell you guys with 100% certainty, I have no idea what was causing them to die. Now, generally in this tank, on the beginning stages, I kind of had frog spawns and hammers everywhere, but their prime location was right under this Monty cap. You can see it's just dark under there now. I'm purposely allowing the Monty cap to grow to cover that. I'm actually putting a few zoas here on the bottom. You can see a little LPS there on the right, the neon green one. But I've just accepted the fact that they cannot grow. They cannot grow. They cannot thrive in this tank. The longest I've been able to have them is about, I don't know, probably about 6 months. Right at the 6 month mark, they'll start shriveling up. They'll start turning whitish as if they were bleaching. And then from there, losing heads, and it's just downhill from there. Very sad to see. The crazy thing is, torches are part of the Euphyllia family. These thrive in my tank. They do great. I'm actually growing a few more heads on one of them. But these do really well in here. They're part of a very similar family, being the Euphyllia family. But I have no idea why these will thrive and the frog spawns and hammers won't. And again, I've tried them from different vendors, different people. Always the same exact results, which kind of sucks, right? And I know some of you guys out there are probably thinking, so what the heck is happening in this tank? Why are they not thriving when, on the other hand, SPS in this tank are beyond thriving? They're doing great. You know, I have Acropora in here that are encrusting. And generally speaking, SPS coral are said to be really hard to keep, right? So you're probably saying, what can be going on? Well, I've given this quite a bit of thought, you know, every time I look at my tank and wonder what the heck can be going on. And I think I've narrowed it down. And again, I think in the comments, I'd love to hear if you guys think I'm kind of headed in the right direction here. But my theory on me not being able to keep hammers and frog spawns is chemical warfare. You're probably saying, well, how if nothing's touching it, right? Notice what's right in front of where I tend to keep my frog spawn and hammers. There's a huge multiple colonies of zoas. And for you guys that are aware, zoas do have what they call polytoxins. They do release them in the water. And from my understanding, they're always releasing chemicals into the water, much like leather coral. They're always releasing it. So my theory is that the fact that these zoas not only are downwind from where I generally put my hammers and frog spawns, but they're in very, very close proximity. Like I said, they're probably no more than 4 or 5 inches away from them. So my theory is there's chemical warfare going on. Obviously, this is nothing we can see. There's no way you can see the chemicals that are, you know, in essence, stressing out the hammer and frog spawns. And that's my theory. That's what I think it is. Believe me, I've tried everything. I've tried different light settings, raising them, lowering them, different alk ranges. I've tried, as you can see, the main reason, I don't think I ever told you guys, but the main reason I removed the gyre and went with the MP10 was because I thought the gyre was just a little bit too much flow in the same direction. I thought that was stressing them out. Sure enough, this MP10, now you see it on the left side, but it's been on the right side too. And I've tried everything, guys, everything. I've tried different pumps. And I think I've narrowed it to the zoas just releasing polytoxins. Now, of course, I really love my zoa garden. So hence why I don't want to part ways with it. And you guys are probably saying, well, why don't you run some carbon to get rid of the polytoxins? Well, I do. I run actually quite a bit of carbon. A little bit more than is what's recommended. And just, you know, I've kind of faced it. I've said, you know what, there's no way I can keep hammers and frog spawns in here. So I'm kind of living with it. Again, I'm just allowing the Monty cap to cover that. But this is a video I thought had to be shared. Obviously, it's not one I'm very proud of. It kind of sucks that I really can't keep you hammers and frog spawns in here. Again, I really love them. I love the look. I think, you know, part of the problem is there's so little water volume in this tank for so many zoas in it. Obviously, if you had this zoa garden in a 100 or 150 gallon tank, you probably wouldn't encounter the same issues. Why? Because there's so much water volume. But being, you know, one, that the zoas are in so close proximity, they're downwind, you know, less water. I just think that's what's ultimately stressing them out. They just come to a point where they can't take it anymore, and then they end up dying. So we're going to wrap this video up here, guys. That's really pretty much it. I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys think. If there's anything you guys think that I can do to fix this issue, recommend it down below, and believe me, I'm willing to try it. I've tried, or at least I think I've tried just about everything with no success. And again, I'm just at the point now where no more. We're not going to add any more frog spawns or hammers until probably we get a bigger tank, more water volume. So guys, we're going to wrap this video up here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've experienced this and maybe how you've overcome it. And anything you guys want to recommend for me to try, believe me, I'll try it out. So as always guys, thank you very much for tuning in this week's video. As always, happy reefing.